In the words of the late George Carlin, BS is the glue that binds us together as a nation. Here comes a ton of it. It's time for BSing with Big Nate.
Welcome into another edition of BSing with Big Nate. I'm Big Nate, and we're on lockdown, so thought we'd have some fun remotely, keep social distancing. And last weekend, I talked to Doug from Crashing Atlas, and I decided, hey, they're nice guys. We're gonna keep it rolling. So today, actually joined by Nick from Crashing Atlas. How you doing, Nick?
Good, Nate. How you been? Thank you for having me. This is fun.
I can't complain. It's been a little while since I saw you. I think you entered our Next to Rock event 2-3 years ago, and kind of started talking to you guys through that. But this is the first time since like 2017 we've actually spoke face to face. So good to see you again. How have you been in that time?
Right now, just kind of taking it one day at a time. It's kind of all you can do. Trying to stay as busy as we can. Kind of locked away, but still trying to put the work in.
And you guys have been putting work in. There's been some cool stuff coming up on your Facebook. Of course, the Jimmy Eat World, the middle cover, fantastic. You guys, it seems like your originals are fantastic, but anytime you guys get your hands on a cover, you guys do a great job of making. You got the East Side cover, of course, the middle. I know there's one I'm forgetting in here that I came out probably about a year ago, and I'm blanking on the track. Yes, it was The Kill. That's the one where you're in the studio together, and I think instead of drums, it was one of those. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, thank you for bailing me out on that one. So
I was trying to remember
what's next?
Because that was so long.
Well, yeah, exactly. What's next on the Crashing Atlas list? Because I know on your Facebook page you guys talked about it being a series of covers. What are we looking at? What ahead to?
Yeah, so we've been working on. We have the instrumentals pretty much done for the next one. This week has been a lot of me and Doug meeting up and calling. So we're doing a lot of writing for the originals. I think in the past week and a half, we've probably written 4 or 5 kind of new demos for the new EP album. We haven't really decided yet, but just getting as much new material written as possible. And since we've kind of been on this hot streak when it comes to me and Doug instrumentally really vibing on the same stuff, we decided, well, let's just keep it going and try strike while the iron's hot. So that's something we've been working at. My alarm to call you. But yeah, we're trying to strike while the iron's hot and get out as much good content while we can. But we are excited to keep some more of the cover stuff going. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and you've been seeing so many bands do it. And I think which kind of first inspired us to do that kind of covers was one of my favorite bands, Goldfinger, released a small series where they were doing a bunch of their covers with the split screen, and it had this kind of cool live vibe to it because I miss going out to shows more than anything.
No, absolutely. There were a lot of shows on the horizon for me this summer that I definitely had checked off, and now it's like, well, even if it does happen, I'm not even sure I'm at a point where I'm comfortable being around that large a group of people. Like, we're looking at next year before everything's going to be fully back to normal.
I know so many of us had concerts that we were looking forward to. I know me, Marina, and Paul were all going to go to that was it the Fall Out Boy, Green Day, the Hell Omega tour, whatever it was called. So we had tickets to that, and which is going to be massive. So we're not sure if that's going to happen. And then our singer Marina is a huge My Chemical Romance fan and ended up getting tickets to their reunion show in DC. That's, I think, at the Capital One Arena, which is massive. So yeah, even once things kind of go back to normal, I think it's going to be, they might allow some small shows at first, but I think it's going to be a hot second till we start seeing these big festivals, which is scary to think about as a musician.
That was one that, mentioning the My Chemical Romance, it had been so long, and I was pretty stoked. I was on board for that one. That and Rage Against the Machine were 2 big items for me, and to have the rug swept out from under us that quickly.
Yep, and I hope they decide to keep I hope none of them cancel. I hope they decide to maybe just push it off a year or however long it's going to be. with this virus, who knows if it's going to be something that recurs next year or something too. And it's just so weird to think about. Just a couple months ago, or however many, we were going to concerts, and I would have went out to a lot more if I knew I was going to spend the whole spring, summer kind of cooped up.
That's I actually, there is someone I know who ended up he's tested positive for antibodies after the fact, which means he had it at some point, didn't even know it. And looking at when he had it, it was before this was even a thing. So there are people walking around that may not know they were carriers, they had it, and that's a scary thought to me as well. But
I took my antibody test yesterday because it was just offered through my doctor's office, and I think I got the results back in like an hour or two, and I was negative on everything. But I don't know, part of me was kind of hoping that it was like it already came and went through my system, and I maybe didn't have to worry about catching it or anything again. But I didn't actually know what to expect. I didn't know what I was hoping for.
How do they run that test?
So through my office, it was like you kind of go. It's like a drive-through, and I live about a couple blocks away from a hospital. So I just went out for probably about 10 minutes, a little prick of blood on the finger, and then they texted me 2 hours later. It was incredible how fast and efficient it was, which it blew my mind. I've never gotten any kind of medical results that fast. So, but it wasn't too bad. Pretty painless.
It's amazing. And I think that's one of those things, like you were saying, it would remove the element of fear for a lot of people. Oh, I've already had this. Well, then okay, now we can do a game plan.
And then maybe they have concerts for people that have already had it. I don't know. Well, they're saying you might be able to catch it twice. So it's scary.
They could just separate one area of the venues, the people with the antibodies, the other are the unexposed people, and we could get back to life as normal. So that brings me... Exactly. What are you doing to pass the time? Obviously, you guys are working on a lot of Crashing Atlas stuff. What else are you doing? I've noticed your wall of instruments behind you.
Spending a lot of quality time with them. For me, I know everyone is kind of taking the quarantine thing a little bit differently, and I'm very restless, so I'm consistently need to be doing something or learning something or working on something. So I've been just trying to learn like things like video editing, I've been trying to coordinate a lot of how we do the live streams. I did like the audio production side of our Jimmy Eat World cover. So really diving into kind of the technical aspects of that, which has helped a lot, because I feel like without that I'd be going crazy. Part of it, I'm a huge sports fan too, so it feels like the rug kind of got swept out, and now I have all this free time, which I'm not used to, and I'm just trying to like learn as much as I can so that when we do come out of this, whenever that is, I don't know, maybe I picked up a skill or something that'll help with the band, and so we don't have to outsource and pay someone else to do it. Maybe we can tackle it in house, like even just a little video like that. There was a lot of trial and error. I think Doug mentioned it on his interview with you, the technical, like the trial and error that comes with learning any type of new technology. So I've been kind of trying to go through as much of the growing pains with that during this lockdown, so we can come out of it hopefully with a bunch of new like tools in our box.
I like that. That's kind of, what is it? It's necessity is the mother of.
Yep.
The way I've been rolling, I've had to adjust the way radio's worked for me, and that's how this whole BS with Big Nate. And so far, I've enjoyed it. I've definitely gone through my paces with learning about video editing and the technological aspect. How internet's not always as reliable as you want it to be, but
yeah,
definitely.
We had some issues we were going through when we first were starting the live broadcasts. We had this big production set up, and I took a lot of like the production notes from watching like video game streamers, and you wouldn't think that there'd be like this big crossover between like video game streamers and what musicians do, but I was looking at how they, like the way they do like transition scenes and how they can pull stuff up on the page or give shout outs to people who subscribe and stuff during it, and can track like likes and comments during the stream and have it broadcasted everywhere. So I kind of dove into the same apps and stuff that they use for video game streaming. And ironically, we did like a ton of test runs with it. And then right as we started broadcasting, I think my building was having internet issues, and it's like, I can't control that. So we finished our live stream on a cell phone. A little frustrating, but We had the audio stuff all. It was looking and sounding real sharp.
I mean, it's amazing that where we've come though technologically, because I don't think I could get through this without my cell phone and my laptop. Like if you look back to 1918 when they were, you're on lockdown and you need to have that access. So I am very thankful that we live in a period of time where we've got this accessibility and we can still connect while being distanced.
And even now, it's like if we want to like ingest different, like whether it's video games, movies, or media, we can just download it. And I remember back, if you wanted a new CD or you wanted a new anything, you really had to go out to the store to get it. And now you could just open up Spotify, or you can download a game online, or I could download some new production software and not have to worry about having to go out and brave the unknown with my mask on and try and buy something and bring it back. So there's been a lot of really nice conveniences, which has been I couldn't have gotten through without it, especially like streaming movies and things like that. I think I'd go insane if I didn't have like Netflix and Hulu and all that.
So speaking of streaming, we're trying to provide viewing options. What have you been streaming?
Oh, I've been rewatching. I don't know if it was HBO The Sopranos. This is a little older, so I'm like going back, and I watched The Sopranos back when I was a little bit younger, and I kind of restarted from season 1, and I've kind of been binging it. And then what else have I been watching? Obviously, The Tiger King has been the craze that swept the nation. What else? I think there was. I've been watching this Canadian show called Letterkenny, which has been real funny too, for like comedy stuff.
Did you watch Trailer Park Boys?
Yeah, I love Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, I like Welcome to Letterkenny a lot. Our engineer at the station's actually the one who turned me off, and it's really interesting, or turned me onto it, because he doesn't watch a lot of TV, and then he just comes in one day, he's like, "You like Canada, right?" Yeah. I'm a hockey fan, as far as that goes, and I like Trailer Park Boys, but Letterkenny's fantastic. I'm that.
I ended up buying one of the Shoresy jerseys back, because I'm a big hockey fan too. So I bought one of the Shoresy jerseys just because, anything hockey I love.
Who's your team?
Capitals.
The Capitals, yep.
I'm a Dutch fan. Yesterday they had the Ovechkin versus Gretzky. They did a live stream together where they both played NHL against each other, and it was Wayne Gretzky versus Alex Ovechkin.
And then everyone could see the gamer tag, so they couldn't get into a second game because they were so bogged down with friend requests. Yeah, I think NASCAR was the first thing I saw where they jumped into that the video simulations and stuff, and it's been intriguing to see that adaptation. But also, what I've liked is it's given time for a lot of things to be pulled out of the archives. Like next week, out in California, unfortunately, I'm an Anaheim Ducks fan, and they're re-airing the entire Stanley Cup run on their Fox affiliate. So I'm just dying to find a way to watch that online, because that'd be kind of cool to go back and check that out. Of course, you've got one in more recent memory with the Caps.
Yeah, I think I've rewatched during since everything's been closed. I at least watched like the highlights against the Vegas Golden Knights finals. Like I watch those every once in a while. I was actually, because I have that NHL TV package, so what I thought about doing was just kind of go back and rewatching the season from day one, and just rewatching this current season, and just really get caught up. And if I ever want to do like fantasy or something next year, just deep dive into all the teams. And I know a lot about the Capitals, but not as much about the trying to learn more about all the other teams.
For a while, NHL had an online service where you could pick a team and go back through the archives, and like I was finding games from the early 2000s for the Ducks and stuff. And I think it went by the wayside. I don't think when they switched to NHL TV, that was back when it was still GameStar. When they switched to NHL TV, I think they dropped that. But now more than ever, that'd be something handy to have.
So when I first bought the NHL TV, and this is not a knock against them, but I was a little upset because it allowed you to watch any game as long as you're not in a surrounding area. And I live in around the DC area. Yeah. So the only games I couldn't watch were the Capitals games. But it wasn't so bad. Like if I just wanted to throw something on when I had some friends over having a beer, just throw on a random game or something like that. So then, even though I bought the NHL package, I still had to go out to like the pub down the street and watch the Caps games because I don't have cable here.
Nail you on those blackout restrictions, and it's definitely painful. See, I only was exposed to it when the Ducks were playing in Washington, so that was all I had to deal with. But the MLB does the same thing. I think that's definitely something that should be sorted out at this point. But these aren't our problems to solve. So you said you and Doug are working on some stuff. You said you've working on demos and stuff. Anytime we might be seeing any new Crashing Atlas anytime soon. I know studio availability is an issue and a thing with everything being on lockdown.
Yeah, so once we're definitely trying to, like, while we're locked down, kind of pick out where we want to go production wise and studio wise, and looking at maybe trying out trying to work with other people, other producers and things like that, and finding, because the new music's a little bit more, it's a little different than some of the stuff we've done before. Like, Doug and I are big fans of maybe some like the mid 2000s rock, like things like Linkin Park and even some of the more modern rock. So we're trying to like take some of the new stuff in definitely a really guitar focused direction and kind of put the rock back into it, and but still kind of keep those pop vocals with it, and kind of like have that that rock peanut butter and that pop jelly, and just push them together, and you get something that's we think people are gonna like. So yeah, I guess once we get out of this, we're gonna start immediately depending how many demos we have together. We're gonna immediately look at trying to like get some studio time and start getting these things totally hashed out. Something that's been helpful now is, since we kind of the way we do in the writing now is Doug and I will hop on a call and we'll do like a screen share, kind of like how we're doing it now, and I'll share my session and we'll work on ideas and everything together. And I actually stream the audio from my production session right to Doug, so he's able to hear exactly what I'm hearing instead of it being like over like a webcam audio or something. So it's really kind of flipped the switch on us being able to collaborate really well together, like we're in the same room. And I think that's kind of how we work best, because we've tried to do writing sessions where it's Doug writes a song or I write a song, and I think our best stuff happens when we really can sit and collaborate in the same room. So we've been trying to emulate that without being in totally different time zones.
Well, that's what I like to hear. And for the coming weeks, what's on the horizon? Where can people be getting their interaction with Crashing Atlas?
We should try and do, probably right after this call, I'll message everyone, and maybe we'll try and do another like live stream this weekend. The live streams have been so much fun, and it's something we used to do only when we hung out together. And you see everyone that's been like working remote using the like Zoom and all the different hangouts, and you see people collaborating from their offices like this and able to, and why don't we just do that? We don't have to be in the same room to go live. So that's been like a big learning curve for us. And I think, you see a lot from a band from their videos and like random Facebook posts, but I think the Facebook Live has kind of given people a window into us a little more personally. And it doesn't feel like everything's been like, super typed out and checked 3 times, and we'll just hang out, answer questions off the cuff. And it's been a lot more personal, which we really enjoy, because I would like when I see other bands do it too.
I think I'd been talking to Doug after off the BS and with Big Nate off air. I was talking to him about it, and I as a fan, that's something that I always enjoy is that accessibility. And I think now more than ever, people are looking for anything and everything, so they're going to go out there and find it. So
yeah,
it's got my vote. Speaking of things that have my vote, I talked about this with Doug, and I feel like I also need to talk about it with you. And I'm going to run it up the chain until it happens. Will there be a cover of "I Saw a Tiger and the Tiger Saw a Man"?
Maybe we'll see if we can do. It's funny. I was looking up the chords on it not too long ago, and maybe me we'll dress up. We'll see if we can get the whole gang to dress up as people from the Tiger King. I think that'd be fun.
Yes,
I'm involved in it. We'll see if we can make that happen.
Did you see Rob Lowe's photo shoot with his dog?
No, what happened?
Posted a photo shoot on his Instagram. It was him dressed as Joe Exotic, and he's got this like tiny little He's got like a tiny little chihuahua, I think it is. The chihuahua is a tiger, and it's ridiculous. It's the
That's
most
crazy.
uncomfortable, hilarious thing I've ever seen because I'm sure Rob Lowe's going nuts throughout all of this. He seems like someone like
Did you see the new
there.
episode? You saw what's his name? He got all his teeth fixed. I saw too. I think one of Joe's first husbands. I can't remember. He had like the 3 teeth throughout
And
the whole. Yeah. And he
family.
looks-
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Doug and I talked about that last week, and he said that he hasn't heard anyone say it's worth watching, so I'm hesitant.
It's not a
have you
real
seen
Tiger
it?
King episode. I don't think personally it's a real Tiger King episode. It feels almost like if you ever watch those like reality TV shows and it shows like the behind the scenes episode. It's more that, and I feel like if Joe Exotic's not in the episode, it can't be a Tiger King episode. How do you do Tiger King without the Tiger King?
I'd grant you that it's like doing an episode of the Trailer Park Boys without Leahy and Randy, or an episode of The Office without Michael Scott. Like there are certain key characters that you need. You can try and fill the void, but it's just not going to be the same. You can't capture lightning in a bottle.
How long they had to film to get that much material, and everyone's like, "Oh, when's season 2?" And I'm like, "This was very real. Like, he's in jail. Like, there's no season 2 yet. Let's then get the film crew in there, which I'd be interested to watch that."
That was a frequent conversation while we're watching all this. Is the timeline on filming, and like you can even kind of tell like in the interviews where they're kind of sitting off to the side, like outfits changing, and this person has much more facial hair. Like they were filming it for like 5 years, I think he said at the beginning of it.
Yep.
So he was there up until, and I really wish that there would have been more coverage of the trial. I know there are rules on cameras in the courthouse, but can you imagine Joe Exotic taking the stand? Because that's all I want to see is him being cross-examined.
Oh, I bet that's wild. You know, I'd love to even see the drawings from the court stenographers. I don't know if they still do that, but that would even give me a little bit of like closure on it.
I got some research to do tonight. Hey, you're absolutely right. That would. All right, we're on a train here. All right, so for Crashing Atlas, where can they find everything Crashing Atlas?
Yeah, so you check us at facebook.com/Crashing Atlas Band, at Crashing Atlas on Twitter, Instagram, crashingatlas.com. We got during our live streams and stuff, we'll promote we'll like kind of throw out these discount codes and things like that for our online store. So if you hang out with us online on Facebook Live, you can get a discount on some of our merch. You know, we're trying to get some new designs coming in soon, so trying to get some of the old stuff moving.
That's some cool. That's pretty awesome. My wife wanted to mention that y'all were kind enough to bring me a Crashing Atlas shirt when you visited last, and that's become her favorite shirt, and I'm no longer allowed to wear it. So
we'll send you something.
Myself.
We got.
But all right, this is Nick from Crashing Atlas, and this has been BSing with Big Nate. Thank you, Nick.